Today's daf is Masechus Nazir Daf Lamates. We are 6 lines at the top. The last word on the line, a new Mishnah. Zok the Helig Mishnah. Stam Naziris. A Stam Naziris. So that means if somebody is a Stam Makabal Naziris, he did not specify how long he wants to Makabal Naziris. How long is that Naziris for? Zok the Mishnah. Stam Naziris is Chal Shloishim Yayim. Why? Because you can't have a Naziris less than 30 days. So Stam Naziris is 30 days. Guy says, I'm raising Nazir, automatically you say it's 30 days. Zakta Mishnah Vayter, Gilach Oishagulchu list him. What happens if he cut his hair off in the middle of Naziris, which he's not allowed to do, or list him bandits, they cut his hair off? Halacha is Saiser Shloishim Yayim. So it interrupts his counting of his 30 days, and he has to start counting a new 30 days after he fixes that. After he comes clean from his cutting off his hair, whatever he has to do, bring karbanos, whatever. So that's halacha. Nazir is only kind of the mitzvah of taglachas only if it's a hair that grew at least 30 days. Zok the Mishnah Vayter. Nazir shagilach. Nazir, let's say he cuts his hair. Bein bezog with a scissor, bein betar with a sharp razor blade, Aishasif safe, let's say he pulled out his hair with his hand. Kol shahu, even one hair, he's chayiv malchus because he's over on the isser loy taver loyav al rosha. But maybe parak vav pasuk. That's the mission. Zak the Gemara. Zak the Gemara. Ibayalahu. B'nei Yeshiva Mesopek, Hai Mazia. This here, when it grew, Melasachas Ravi, does it grow from its root? Milael. So the toots on the mar does it grow underneath where the root is, and then it grows up, and it comes up actually, or does it grow on top? So it means you have the root, but the rest.
Well, obviously it grows.
The rest grows on top.
But I think.
Zakta Gemara l'mayin afkamina lagabi. Which din in the Mishnah is a suffix? Zakta Gemara l'nazir shekuchul listim. If listim came, it was armed robbery, and they came in with shavers, like we're cutting off all your hair. So the shirubai. So what happens? The listim came in. They didn't cut off all his hair until the root. They didn't give him a 000. They didn't shave with a razor. Mamish told the root. Just shear by they're left over in the shear enough kadei lakov, enough that he could take the hair and he could bend it. So zakti Gemara, the lakov reishai liikarai, enough that he could take the top of the hair and bend it down to its root. So iaramel tachas ravi, if you want to tell me that the hair grows underneath where it's mechuber to the guf. So Zakta Gemara that if you say Melu Ravi Shakle, the pshat is that the hair grows under the skin that we see on top. So that means the hair is growing underneath. So now Naziris Hashakle, the listim, they cut off his hair, even though they left a little bit over, but they took away that hair that he was Mekamal Naziris on not to cut. So Lachar it says in Naziris Zakta Gemara. But Zakta Gemara, Amrit Mila El Ravi, if you tell me that when hair grows, it doesn't grow inside. It doesn't grow under the scalp. It only grows on top of the head, that it gets longer. But the part that's mechuber leguf, under the skin, that stays. That never moves. It does not grow out of there. That's the root. The root is always there. It only grows on top of the head, on top of the scalp. So Ibizay Frekting Amara, Maida Aktish, Hakam. The chelik underneath the skin, that's always there. So even if listim cut off the top part, l'chayr hakam, he still has the hair, the original root still stays. That part doesn't grow. That part is just the root. It's always there. So l'chayr, why can't he mekayim? And if the listim left over a piece of his hair enough that he could bend back, then why can't he mekayim taglachas? L'chayr, he still has that hair. They cut off the top of his hair, but he still has that original piece. So why should it be Saisin Aziris? Zakri Gemara. So the Gemara is going to try to mechiach how does hair grow. What's a teva of how hair grows? Let's learn out from this bug, which you find on the hair of the head. The kam Be'ikva de binta, I guess some sort of lice, a bug, which it stays in the hair next to the head. V'isal kadaitach, if you want to tell me Miltachas Ravi, that the hair grows from underneath the scalp, it's always growing, even the root. So the Gemara, Bereisha de binta boila mekam. Then this bug, this lice that you have in the hair, it should be on the top of the hair. Because even if originally, let's say the bug gets into the hair, it goes underneath the hair. After time, the hair grows, so it should grow along with it, and it should be on top of the hair. And this bug the lice should go along with it. And so you should not be able to find lice samach to the scalp. It should be higher up on the hair, because as the hair grows, it should be on the top of the hair. But since you find that this kina is found underneath, so you see that the chelik of hair, which is close to the skin, stays in its place, and it's only the top that grows higher when the hair grows. So Gemara, no, la'olam el tachas Ravi. I could tell you that no, that Zok the Gemara, it's not a right. I can tell you Matachas Ravi. That even grows underneath in the skin. So Hakam, so the Chayyar affecting Gemara, the Shaila was the Kina should go up to the top of the hair. So the Gemara, Agav Chiyus and Nachas va'azol imba. Because of its chiyus, the bug's chiyus, the Kina always goes down, always climbs its way back down to the root. Because it's a live thing. Zok the Gemara weiter, Tashma, I'll bring a raya. Inba Mesa Bereisha de Binta. We find that a kina that's dead, you find it on the top of the hair, meaning further away from the scalp. You find it higher up. Zok the Gemara, Yisal Kadaitach, if you want to tell me Malil Ravi that only the top part grows out of the hair and not under the scalp. So Ibizoi Be'ikva de Binta Boila Mekem. Then you should find the kina under the hair close to the head, because that's where it was when it was alive, and that's where it died. So how did it go up? It's not alive, it's dead. You see that it grows underneath. Zakti Gemara, Hasam Nami, over here also you can say that Be'emes the hair grows only on top, Mil El Ravi, and still when it dies, it goes higher up. Shem the less b'chela, because it has no strength to keep itself down because it's dead. So therefore, srugi va'azal. It just goes along with the flow of how the hair grows, and it goes up. So there's no raya that the sar grows from underneath the scalp. Zok the Gemara, Tashama, I'll bring you a raya, meblurius to kushim. From the long hair that the kushim grow on their heads. So the kushim, it was normal for them, the derech was that they would cut off all the hair on their head and they would leave only a little bit. And they would bend it back and braid it back until it's close to the scalp. So the Basa the Megadon law, after they would braid their hairs back, Rafya Mosachas, it would so Zok the Gemara, after time that it would be braided back like that, it would loosen up and you would see some hairs on the head. So Zok the Gemara, l'chayr, we see from there a raya tarasiyah, because Avada l'chayr was the reason why l'chayr it got loose is because there was new hair growing, which is not braided. So you see from there, Zok the Gemara, l'chayr, the hair grows under the head, under the scalp. So Gemara, no, it's not a raya. Hasam Nami, I could tell you that the hair grows on top of the head, on top of the scalp, and this the reason why that it loosens up. Samach l'roish is aidi de kamta hi meshichva derafia. Because when the person lies down and his head presses against his pillow or whatever, then the knot on the whole braid, it gets pushed and it gets loosened. But there's no raya that it's because the hairs are growing underneath it. Zok the Gemara Tashma, I'll bring you a raya, Mesikrasa, from this that we see, the red dye color that they dye the hairs of animals. and it causes the hair all the hairs like to stick together, like it looks like one big thick hair. So Zok the Gemara, the Rafi Amra, because after some time, the wool of the animal gets soft, moltachas, underneath, where it's connected to the body of the animal. The Tanya, and we learned in the Brisa that this Maisa of dyeing the animals here, the Gemara says that you have to pass the animals through a narrow door, and you have to dye the animals. Every 10th animal, you have to put a red dye in it and do maktashif and meiser behema. The su katzavi savaya dikinoin. And another raya you find, when old people with white hair, they dye their beards black, and then over time, chivaron, it gets white. Right, it loses its dye. Ikve nimhain, at the area where it's attached to the guf, that's on the face, so you see that turns white. Zok the Gemara, Shmami, no, we see from this Metzias, Mosachas Ravi, that it must be, it grows underneath the skin, where it's connected, and the new part that grows is not dyed. But if you say that it grows on top of the skin, if you would say like the tzad that it grows on top, then the Gemara is saying that then what would happen is you would say that the part that's further away from the skin would get white, not the part that's closest to the skin. So Zok the Gemara, you have a raya taka that the part that's underneath the skin grows. The taka can be matcheres. And Mela Zok the Gemara machriya legabe the suffix legabe nazir, where it's gochu listim, and they left over enough here that he could bend the hair back. So therefore what? What would you say? Ela, it's Seiser is whole Naziris. Because that hair is no longer here. It grows even under skin. Okay, very good. So Frakting Gemara, Ve'ela, Hadatanya, L'chayr, we learned their Bais and Nazir Shechul, Listim, V'Shiruboy, and they left over enough here, because you lock of Roshali Karai, ain't a Seiser. It's not Seiser. V'Yisal Gadaitach, if you want to say Takas like Artzad, Moltachas Ravi, it should be Seiser. Zakti Gemara, no, because that's on the Brisa going to L'chu Achar Malois. The Brisa is talking about, that says that it's not Seiser, is that they cut off his hair after his 30 days in Nazir is finished, before he's Mekayim, the mitzvahs, that pater from Naziris. So he did not do Geluach Havaras Karbonis. Umani, and who's this Bryce is going like? Who she did Rabbi Lezer? He's going like she's Rabbi Lezer. It says in the Mishnah we had before in Daf Tezayin, Kol Achar Malois Shiva Seiser, that a Nazir becomes Tameh even after he finishes 30 days. If it becomes Tameh with Tameh Mace, it's not Seiser's whole Naziris, like a din Nazir that's Nitma in middle Teichim Ein Nazirusai. Rather, he has to just wait 7 days. So according to that Shittas Rabbi Lezer, you could say that so too a Nazir that is Megaleh Chasar after he finishes Shloshim Yoim, before he brought his Karbanas, he doesn't have to wait 30 days. 7 days is enough. So as Rabbi Lezer Shetasa, you could say that Rabbi Lezer will hold the same thing like he says by Nitma, he would hold also by Geluach. So that's Pshat in that Brisa. Zakimar, my time of the Rebbe Lezer. What's the reason Rebbe Lezer that if he's in the Skaleach after he finishes his 30 day Naziris before he brought his Karbanas, it's enough to wait 7 days to be Mekayim Skaleach? Why don't we say that he has to wait another 30 days? Right? L'chari calling Mekayim Geluach on a here that could be 30 days. Pashtus. Zakti Gemara, Rebbe Lezer learns it out. Yolaf Taglach Stahira. He learns out Taglach Stahira. Mitaglachas Tuma. He learns out Stam Naziris without Tuma, which is Stam a regular Visaiser Alidei Geluach from Taglachas Tuma, from being Seiser and Nazirs, which comes out of Tumah. Mataglachas Tumah, just like by being Seiser and Nazirs of Tumah, the halacha is Nitmal Achem Alois. The halacha is Shiva. He has to just wait 7 days, and then he can bring the Sarbanas and finish his Nazirs. After Glachas Tahira, so too if a guy finishes his own Nazirs with Tahira, and it was not Al Yedei Tumah, the halacha is that it's only Seiser Shiva. The Kimlu Rabbanon, and the Rabbanon held that Kol Shiva Yomim Asya Mazya. That 7 days enough that his hair would grow enough, Kedelak of Rosh Likara. It's enough that it grows enough that he could take his hair and bend it back. And that has enough chashivas of that it's considered here. So Ibazoi, if he has that shear, he can mekayim it's teglachas, and it's not soiser at all. It's enough for 7 days. If he's mekayim the hayra in this case, and it happened afterwards that he cut his hair. Zokt the Gemara Vaita. The Mishnah said, Nazir shagilach bein betar bein bezugash shesiftiv kolshu chayev. If he cut his hair with a scissor or with a razor or pulled it out with his hands, it's chayev, even one hair. Zokt the Gemara. Tanur Rabbanon learned in a brisa. From this, that it says in the pasuk by Midrash Paragvav pasuk Hey, Tar lo yaval roishay, ainli elo tar. Only have a makar lechayim malchus only if he uses a tar. Pasuk says tar, razor, right? But talash or meirat, if he does it all yidei sam, he cuts his hair off, or sifsei, if he takes his hand and pulls it out. Kol shuhu, even one here, minayin. How do you know that it's asur for another to do? Talmud loyme kadosh yeh Gadil Pera Sa'aroishe, which is mashma that any way he does not have his hair growing, whatever he does is not Mekayim mitzvahs, he can't be Mekayim the mitzvah of Gadil Pera. Divrei Rabbi Yasher, Rabbi Yonis says, Tar, they said it says in the Torah, Tar, Ein li ela Tar. So only say Tar Dafka, but Meira Talash Sisiv Kolshu Potter. But so Yonis Daka argues, it says that if you meirat or if you talash of a sifs of kolshu, if you pull it out with your hand, then you taka not chayiv, and you're not over even an essay. So it's taka machlokes. So frak the Gemara. I'm sorry, wait, I was wrong. Rabbi Yoshia holds that you chayiv on all these things. Rabbi Yonasan is the one that says that you only chayiv a tar, but if you do it with any other way, you're not chayiv. A scissor, you pull it out with your hand, you're not chayiv. So Zak affecting Gemara on Rabbi Yonasan Shita, v'oksiv kadosh yiyeh gadol parasar roishay. So it's mashma he has to grow his hair. It's mashma any way that he cuts off his hair, he doesn't have his hair growing. L'chayra, it's mashma that he's chayiv, like Rabbi Yashia Tainen. Zak the Gemara that no, the pasuk kadosh yigad per is not coming to tell you that. Rather, it's coming to tell you the main word the megilach le betar karamalei ba'esei u'v'veloisasei. It's coming to tell you that if he cuts it off with a tar, he's not just over on an essay, but he's also over on a loisasei. Tani idach, like Gemara, we learned another brayso on this Indian. Torah says tar ainli elo tar tola shmerat sister kolshu minayin. How do you know? Tam limel yavar roishay. From this, that the pasuk says le yavar al roishay, it's mashma he cannot put anything on his head to cut his hair off. So it's mashma that okay, so frekting Gemara, me'achar zok debraiso, me'achar shesafena l'rabbis, if you marber from layaver that anyway he cuts his hair is over, a nazir, kol davar, matam alarmer. So why does it have to say kol davar? Tar layaver al roishay, why does the pasuk have to say tar? Just say layaver sar roishay. Now, why does the pasuk have to say tar? If you chayiv any way you do with any kind of tool, then just say, pasuk just say tar layaver roishay. Don't take off your hair any way you do it. You chayiv. Why does it say specifically tar? Zok de brayso lefishalei lamandim galach sachroina shiva tar. Because we don't find that the galach sachroina, the chiv of cutting off his hair after he finishes in ziris b'tayra, that should be b'tar. And from this pasuk stuck in Gemara, because the pasuk said over here tar, the guy with the isri geluach toichimei naziris, so it's an extra word to tell you that the guy with the mitzvah geluach at the end of naziris, it has to be done dafka with a razor. Lalamdoi min b'tzayra. Zok the Gemara. Yefshar. And to learn out the halacha that is Mgalech Tzar Roshei and B'yom Tarasai by Nazir from a tzar that you can't learn out. Okay, that part of Gemara we'll see tomorrow. But Kapanim is the Gemara that the fact that it says Tar L'Yavar Roshei could have just said L'Yavar Roshei. Why does that say Tar? Zok the Gemara, we learn out that when he finishes Naziris, the only way to Mekayim Mitzvahs Giluach that he cuts his hair, it has to be done specifically with a razor.